So the next array method we're going to look at is the sort method. So the sort method is used to arrange the content of an array by a particular order. So it can be ascending order or descending order, depending on the condition that is given. So the sort function sorts the elements of an array in ascending order by default. So that's the default arrangement. So let's see how this works. So in this example, we have an array of fruits: apple, banana, orange, and grape. And we call the fruits dot sort. So we call the sort method on the fruits array, and we get this result. So this is the output when we print the fruits array. So in this case, we have apple, banana, grape, and orange. So we can see a rearrangement here because of the sorting. So one thing we need to understand here about the sort function or method is that it affects the array itself, right? So in the filter method, we saw that the filter method creates a new array while the old one is unaffected. So if we print both the new, okay, so let's print the old values here, names. We can see that the old value is not affected by the filter method, right? So the filter method returns a new array and doesn't affect the old array. But in the sort method actually affects, it mutates the array itself. So instead of returning a new array, it mutates the array itself. Okay, so let's see this in action. So let's start with this. So we are going to sort these names and see what we have. So let me print the names first before we sort, and then we will print the sorted names as well. All right. Or what I will do is to prove that the array itself is affected, the values are affected. Let's sort first, and then we'll print the names. So let's clear this and we run. Okay. We have an error. Okay, sorry, console. Clear this. Okay, so we can see this is the original array. We have John, Andrew, Paul, Joy, Peter, and Blessing. And for the sorted array, we have Andrew, Blessing, John, Joy, Paul, and Peter. So this is how we can sort an array. So we call the name of the array. In this case, we have names dot the sort, and then we call the sort function on the array. So once you do this, the array will be sorted. And like we said here, the default order is ascending, so it sorts this in ascending order by default. So if you want it to sort in descending order, you have to write a condition for that. So we are going to see how we can do that shortly. And the same way we saw that we can use the filter method on both strings and numbers and even other data types, we can do the same with the sort, right? So the sort can be used on strings, It can be used on numbers, it can be used on objects or any other data type. In some scenarios, you will have to provide a function because the sort method works more by default on strings. So it works out of the box on strings. When you want it to operate on numbers efficiently, you may have to provide a function that gives a condition for the sorting. So let's see how that works. So we are going to change this to some numbers. Let's have, okay, let me just create a new array, numbers. So let's have 100, have 300, 32, 23, 400, 41, 60. So we just have some random values. All right, so let's print numbers here. Let's sort and let's print again and see the output. Okay, so this is the original array. So we have 100, 1, 300, and so on. In this case, we have the sorted version of this. We have 1, we have 100, we have 23. We can say that this is not properly sorted. That's because for you to sort arrays, numeric arrays, you have to provide condition for which the sorting will take place, because the sorting doesn't work out of the box on numbers, right? So it works efficiently with strings but not with numbers. So when you provide numbers like this, the system looks or considers this as strings. So it's going to sort this the way strings should be sorted, right? So I can't go deeply into the explanation of this, but just know that this under the hood is sorted in the same way strings are sorted. So that's why we have this result. So to be able to sort this as numbers the way to have the kind of results we expect, then we are going to provide a function here just the way we provided for the filter, and we have to define the condition. So we provide a function here, and unlike the filter, we are going to pass in two parameters here. For the filter, we passed in just one parameter, but in this case, we are going to pass in two parameters. So we'll call it A and B. So parameter A, parameter B, and then we will have the body of our function. So we're going to do this. So A, let's say A minus B. Okay, so let's see what happens. Okay, so we can see that our sort method is working better now. So we have 1, 23, 32, 41, 60, 100, 300, and 400. So this is how we expect it to work. When you provide two parameters here, A and B, in this case, we are saying A minus B. So this is going to compare these two values, A, which is going to be the first value, and a second value, B, and is going to return the smallest value, right? So if A is smaller than B, then A will be returned, and if B is smaller than A, then be returned, right? So that's how this works. Now if we want to sort in descending order, we are going to do this b minus a, and then you can see that in this case we have this arrangement in descending order. So we have 400, 300, 100, 60, 41, 32, 23, and 1. Right? So this is how this works. We can as well provide some other conditions to be used in sorting this. So let's see how we can sort this array. Okay, so let's see how we can sort this array, not in the alphabetical order, but using the length. So I want to have the smallest name with the smallest length first, and then down to the largest. So let's see how we can do that. So this condition here is for numbers, when you want to sort numbers. So if you want to sort numbers in ascending order, then the first number minus the second. If you want to sort in descending order, then the second minus the first. So let's comment this whole part and see how we can sort the names. So we have names.sort, and since we are not sorting in alphabetical order, by default that is how the sort method works. So if since we don't want to sort using the default criteria, we will have to provide our own criteria. So we have to provide a function that will be used to sort the array. So let's say f, that's first name, and second name. So in this case, we are going to return f name dot length minus s name dot length, like this. So let's see how this runs. Okay, sorry, we didn't print. So console.log. Alright, so in this case we can see we have a 3-letter word, joy, followed by 4-letter words, John and Paul, and then we have a 5. This is also a 5, and this is a 6, 7. This is a 7-letter word. Is it 7 or 8? 8 actually. So this is an 8-letter word. So we can see that this is sorted by the length of the words and not in the alphabetical order. So like I mentioned before, if you want to sort in the alphabetical order, then you are good, you are fine. So you can just use names.sort, and then this works by default, right? So but if you want to sort by some other criteria, then you have to write a function and then provide the criteria you want to use in sorting. And another instance could be to sort this. Okay, first let's reverse this order. Like this. So in this case, you can see we have gone from the largest word to the smallest word in length. Okay. So so for this array, if we want to sort, we have seen that in the first example, we're able to sort this in ascending order, which is the default order. So if we want to sort this in descending order, we can do this, call the sort method. When you call the sort method, we have this. There's a trick we can use to reverse this order, to have the descending order. We can call this method reverse. So reverse is an array method as well that is used to reverse an array. So instead of going from the first element to the last, it gives you the last to the first. So if we run this, we now have this array reversed. So using this, we have this array in descending order, sorted in descending order. So you can use this trick to sort in descending order instead of the ascending order. So that is it for this video. I'll see you in the next video.